As the US and Israel struggle to maintain momentum in the third week of the war, reports now suggest that Mojtaba Khamenei's secret weapon, a powerful and previously unknown strategic asset, has finally been revealed. Emerging intelligence points to Russian President Vladimir Putin quietly aiding Mojtaba's forces, helping Iran strike US military positions. Multiple sources now claim that Putin has been secretly supporting Iran's war effort, turning this regional conflict into a carefully coordinated campaign that has left the US military facing unprecedented humiliation. From supplying next-generation drone technology to providing real-time satellite intelligence, Russia's involvement has made Iran's counterattacks far deadlier. In a shocking turn of events, Iran's revenge for Ali Larijani's assassination has left Israel reeling, with Tel Aviv reportedly suffering devastating strikes. As the dust settles, the US now finds itself losing on both fronts. Iran's resistance remains unbroken and increasingly coordinated, while Russia reaps massive profits from the global oil crisis. As the US-Israel war against Iran escalates into its most intense phase yet, fresh intelligence reports suggest that Russia is now playing an active role in supporting Tehran's military operations against Western forces. According to multiple sources, Moscow has significantly expanded intelligence sharing and weapons cooperation with Iran, a partnership that's deepening as the conflict spreads across multiple fronts. Reports indicate that Russia has supplied Tehran with advanced satellite imagery, upgraded surveillance capabilities, and enhanced versions of the drones now being used in attacks across the Middle East. Details of this growing Russian assistance were first published by the Washington Post on March 17, outlining a covert operation that links Moscow's military expertise directly to Iran's new wave of counterstrikes. Among the technologies reportedly transferred are modified components from the Shahed series drones, the same systems that have seen lethal use in Ukraine and are now revamped for Middle Eastern war zones. These new modifications are designed to enhance communication range, navigation accuracy, and real-time targeting precision, giving Iran a far deadlier edge on the battlefield. Drawing heavily from its experience in the Ukraine war, Russia is also said to be advising Iran on tactical planning, electronic warfare strategies, and coordinated drone-missile integration. In a more alarming revelation, the Wall Street Journal reports that Russia has provided Iran with satellite base locations of US military deployments and assets across the Middle East theater. According to the paper, both a senior Middle Eastern diplomat and a high-ranking European intelligence officer have confirmed Moscow's direct involvement in assisting Iranian targeting operations. Analysts point out that this form of Russian assistance to Iran closely mirrors the type of logistical and intelligence support the US and its European allies have been providing to Ukraine, a stark example of global conflict dynamics flipping in real time. Intelligence sources now believe that Moscow's covert assistance has played a crucial role in enabling Iran's recent precision strikes on advanced US radar systems stationed across the region. Reports indicate that the targeting data for these operations was obtained from a sophisticated network of Russian satellites, a fleet specifically tasked with gathering and transmitting real-time military intelligence to Allied forces. According to the same reports, this satellite fleet is operated and maintained by Russia's powerful aerospace forces, known internationally as the Vozdushnho-Kosmicheskiye Sili, or VKS, the elite branch responsible for space-based surveillance, missile defense, and orbital reconnaissance. A professor at a Paris educational institute, Nicole, said, quote, "Iranian targeting in the Gulf has been more focused on radar and command and control. Iran's strike packages have come to strongly resemble what Russia does." According to newly released intelligence reports, Iran is now achieving far greater success in striking US and Arab targets than it did during the major conflict of 2025, marking a dramatic shift in its military capability and strategic precision. Former CIA analyst Jim Lamson said, quote, "If there are details in those images that the Russians are providing, say, of specific types of aircraft munition sites, air defense assets, and naval movements, that have intel value to the Iranians that would really help them. The categories of assistance, including satellite data and advice on drone tactics, that Russia is providing are limited but still valuable to the war and Iran's ability to hit specific military sites." On March 7th, US President Donald Trump downplayed concerns about Moscow's role, stating that it was ultimately inconsequential whether Russia had supplied intelligence support to Iran in the ongoing conflict. Just a day later, on March 8th, A joint US-Israeli strike reportedly damaged the Russian consulate in Isfahan, an incident that immediately escalated diplomatic tensions and drew global attention to the growing volatility of the war. By March 10th, Moscow had officially denounced the strike, with the Russian government condemning the US and Israel for what it described as a blatant and unacceptable attack on a protected diplomatic facility inside Iranian territory. The incident has since fueled widespread speculation about whether President Vladimir Putin might choose to enter the conflict directly, a move that could transform the regional war into a far broader international showdown. Commercial shipping operations have now ground to a near-total halt in the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most vital maritime corridors, as escalating military tensions make safe passage virtually impossible. Iran has effectively imposed a full blockade on the strait, a narrow but strategic waterway that handles nearly one-fifth of all global energy trade, pushing oil markets and international supply chains into crisis mode. In Moscow, President Vladimir Putin has reportedly urged senior policymakers and energy executives to capitalize on the turmoil, seeing the disruption as an opportunity to expand Russia's influence over global energy prices. Last year, about a third of the world's seaborne oil exports, roughly 14 million barrels per day, passed through the Strait of Hormuz. Around 80% of that went to Asia-Pacific countries. Now this route is effectively closed. Oil production that depends on the use of the strait risks coming to a complete halt within the next month. It is clear that fully redirecting supplies of Middle Eastern oil without using the Strait of Hormuz is at least for now unrealistic. Changing logistics would not only take a long time, but also require significant spending on infrastructure, expanding marine terminals, and so on. And of course it would involve high political risks. It is clear that global energy logistics will shift towards more profitable and more promising markets while the conflict in the Middle East continues. At the same time, we must understand that the current high prices for commodities are, without doubt, temporary. Russia is, I repeat, a reliable supplier of energy. It has always been so. We will, of course, continue to supply oil and gas to those countries that themselves are reliable counterparties. I mean not only our partners in the Asia-Pacific region, but also states in Eastern Europe such as Slovakia and Hungary. Even now, some colleagues informed me before this broader meeting, we are increasing supplies to our reliable partners. I would like to remind you that European Union plans to introduce additional restrictions from April 25 on the purchase of Russian hydrocarbons, including liquefied natural gas, up to a complete ban on such supplies in 2027. In this regard, the government has already been tasked with assessing the possibility and feasibility of stopping our energy supplies to the European market, not waiting for the door to be demonstratively slammed in our face, but doing it now and redirecting these volumes from the European market to more attractive destinations. If European companies and European buyers suddenly decide to reorient themselves and offer us long-term, stable cooperation free of political considerations, then of course, we have never refused. We are ready to work with the Europeans. But we need some signals from them that they are ready and also willing to work with us and will ensure that stability and reliability. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has been urgently reaching out to allied nations, pleading for coordinated naval or diplomatic intervention in the Hormuz Strait. But so far, his calls for assistance have gone unanswered.